Welcome to Gunsmoke Theater. I'm Dennis Daly. Very few radio or television programs had such an impact on their medium that they changed everything. One of those shows was Gunsmoke. Yes, it ran 20 years on television, but the TV show was a child of the radio show, which itself ran nearly a decade. Sit back now for the next hour as we go back into the archives and play some of those great episodes of the show that changed everything, Gunsmoke. Our look at the history of Gunsmoke Radio has brought us all the way to September of 1954. So let's get cracking. These are two full-length episodes, and we have to get them to fit in our little hour. Let's go back now to the fall of 1954.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by Chesterfield, America's most popular two-way cigarette. What a pair. Chesterfield King Size at the new low price. Chesterfield Regular.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Mr. Dillon.
Hello, Chester.
I sure am glad you're back.
I've only been gone a couple of hours.
Well, that's all it takes, a couple of hours. Oni Becker's been shot.
Huh? Oni Becker?
You know him, that little sodbuster lives out near Clear Spring.
Oh, yeah.
He's up at docks. You want to see him?
Yeah. Well, tell me about it, Chester.
Well, sir, all I know is he was gambling this morning over at the Texas Trail. He left there a little after noon, and then some fellas found him laying in an alley with a bullet in him.
Well, can he talk?
No, sir. He's been unconscious the whole time. But Doc's working on him in here.
Oh, hello, Matt.
How is he, Doc?
He's dead, Matt. About 10 minutes ago.
Oh. Oni Becker. Now, who'd have shot a harmless little man like that?
Harmless is right. He didn't even have a pocket knife on him. And besides, he was shot in the back.
Maybe it was an accident of some kind.
Accident? Chester, I once tried to save a man who had pulled a scythe across the back of his neck by accident. Yes, and I remember a boy who fell between the slats of a fence and got hung. But I never heard of a man shooting himself in the back by accident.
Well, I meant maybe somebody else done it.
Of course somebody else did it.
I know that. I meant by mistake.
Oh, Chester. Chester, are you sure you've been keeping your hat on when you're walking around in the sun?
Oh, you're just mad because Oni Becker died on you.
There was nothing I could do to save him. He bled to death. Inside.
Oh, you did what you could, Doc.
Yes, well, I think I did.
Did, Ani say anything? Anything at all?
No, Matt, he never even opened his eyes.
Well, he was shot in the back, so it wasn't anybody he was fighting with.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Dillon. Oni was fighting, or at least having an argument over a card this morning with that gambler, what's his name, Al Clovis, over at the Texas Trail.
He was. Well, why didn't you say so before, Chester?
Well,
I never heard of this, Al Clovis.
Oh, he's only been here about a week, Doc. Chester, you wait here. I'm going over to the Texas Trail.
Is that you? Oh, hello, Marshal.
Hello, John.
Looking for somebody, Matt?
Oh, hiya, Kitty. Is Al Clovis here?
I was wondering when you'd get around to him.
What do you mean?
I heard about Oni Becker, and Al Clovis threatened him this noon just before Oni went out and got shot. Almost seemed like Al was trying to start a fight with him, Matt.
Where was Clovis when it happened, Kitty?
He wasn't in here.
Kitty, you know Al Clovis better than I do. Would you say he's the kind of a man who would murder Oni Becker because of an argument over cards, shoot him in the back?
I don't know him that well, Matt.
Yeah, well, maybe he had another reason to kill him. If he did it.
Shooting little Oni Becker's like shooting a pet deer. Makes about as much sense.
Yeah. But usually when a man gets murdered, there's a reason of some kind for it.
You mean it'd take more than plain anger to follow a man down an alley and shoot him in the back?
Well, ordinarily it would.
Al Clovis must have wanted Oni dead for some special reason, Matt. Maybe Oni had something on him.
Yeah, maybe.
He was in here a while ago, but he left.
Well, I'll find him.
He might be at the depot, Matt.
At the depot?
He said something about going to St. Louis. Now everything's been taken care of here. I didn't know what he meant at the time, but he said it loud, and I know the train leaves at 4:30.
4:30? That's about that now, isn't it?
Well, maybe he said it just to throw you off his trail.
Yeah, well, I'll find out. I'll see you later, Kitty.
You better hurry, Matt.
This is George Fenneman. In choosing your cigarette, be sure to remember this. You will like Chesterfield best because only Chesterfield has the right combination of the world's best tobaccos. Tobaccos that are highest in quality, low in nicotine, best for you. You and I smoke for relaxation, for comfort, for satisfaction. And in the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like a Chesterfield. Get a carton of Chesterfield today. Chesterfield Regular, Chesterfield King Size. Both at the same price in most places.
In regular or king size, you can get 'em either way. The best smoke ever made's the Chesterfield you buy today. Smokers coast to coast are changing, it's a cinch to do. Here's all you have to say to get the one that's best for you. Chesterfield's for me, Chesterfield's for me. You just say it's Chesterfield's for me.
One more car to go, Mr. Dillon. If Al Clovis ain't in there, he ain't on this train.
Well, he might have fooled us after all, Chester.
Yes, sir. He could be riding west while we're heading east. We'll never find him if he is.
Well, let's take a look into this car before we walk in, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, I sure don't see him. Not in there, I don't.
Yeah. Unless that's him down there, lying back with his hat pulled over his face.
It could be.
Well, it better be. Now, come on.
Okay, sir.
Hey, wake up, mister. Come on, wake up.
Quit bothering me. What do you want anyway? Marshal Dillon. Huh. What are you doing here?
Keep your hands on your knees, Clovis. Tucked.
Oh, what's this all about, Marshal?
You carrying a gun?
Why should I carry a gun?
Stand up, Clovis. Come on, stand up.
Okay. What for?
All right, search him, Chester.
Yes, sir.
No, keep to one side of him, out of my way.
Don't you try nothing, Clovis.
Well, why should I? I told you I wasn't armed.
No, ain't nothing on him.
All right. Okay, you can sit down, Clovis.
I don't understand this, Marshal. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the man who murdered Oni Becker this afternoon.
You mean you followed me and got on this train because you thought I killed Only?
It's about 100 miles to Great Bend, Clovis. We'll get off there and take tomorrow's train back to Dodge.
Oh, you're making a big mistake, Marshal. While you were riding up and down on this railroad, whoever did kill Only Becker's leaving the country for good. You'll never catch him now.
What you're trying to say is that you don't admit killing him yourself, isn't it?
I'm not a murderer, Marshal.
No, we'll see.
Oh, I know what you're thinking. You heard Oney and I had a little argument this morning.
Didn't you?
Sure. That doesn't prove anything. I argue with lots of men.
You threatened to kill him.
Ah, that was just to scare him. He was being kind of stubborn about it all. You know what those farmers are like. But I suppose it takes a stubborn man to grow potatoes.
Well, if you're so innocent, why did you announce everything had been taken care of and that you were going to St. Louis?
Did I say that, Marshal?
You know, Clovis, I can always kick you in the head and take you back to Dodge in a sack. Now, why did you run?
I'm not running. No reason why I should. That's the truth, Marshal.
Where were you when Oney Becker was killed?
I was wondering when you'd ask me that.
I suppose you got an alibi.
You know Mr. Botkin, don't you, Marshal?
I ought to. Botkin's run the Dodge Bank ever since it was an old whiskey barrel.
Well, I was with him in his office at the bank, Marshal. I suppose you'll take his word for it.
Yeah, sure I will.
Well, we were discussing the money I placed in the bank when I arrived in Dodge a week ago. $5,000, Marshal. Mr. Botkin is going to transfer it to St. Louis for me.
Chester,
Yes, sir.
go up and tell the engineer to stop the train at Jane's Crossing.
Stop the train?
There's a ranch about a mile from there where we can borrow some horses.
I thought you said we were spending the night at Great Bend, Marshal.
I changed my mind, Clovis. Your story doesn't make much sense, and I want to get back to Dodge and find out why.
It must be about midnight.
Sure is, and I'm tired. Haven't been on a horse in years.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so, Clovis? We'd have borrowed a wagon for you.
Never mind, Chester. Now, you take him on down to the jail and lock him up, huh? I'm going to stop here at Mr. Botkin's house. His light's still on.
Want me to go in with you, Marshal?
I'll let you know what he has to say, Clovis. I'll be along a little while, Chester.
All right, sir.
Matt Dillon, Mr. Botkin.
Oh, well, Marshal, come in. Come in.
I wouldn't have bothered you this late, Mr. Botkin, but I saw your light was on, and I figured you were still up.
Up? Of course I'm up. How could I sleep tonight?
Why? What's wrong?
Where have you been, Marshal? The whole town of Dodge has been looking for you. Fine time for you to be up riding off somewheres, I must say.
Well, tell me what happened.
What happened? Don't you know even yet? What are you doing here at my house?
Well, if you'll calm down, I'll tell you.
You tell me, I'd better tell you, Marshal. While you're out gallivanting around on the prairie somewheres, my bank was held up.
What?
About 5 o'clock, just as we were closing. 3 men that got away with over $25,000. Every cent of cash I had in that vault, Marshal.
Well, didn't anybody try to follow him?
No, they tied me and them cashiers up so tight they were miles out of town before we could get loose. There's a few men saw them leave, but they were afraid to do anything about it. And, of course, the United States Marshal, he wasn't even in town.
Did you get a look at him?
No, they were masked. Nobody I found can even identify their horses. They're just gone, Marshal, with $25,000.
Look, Mr. Botkin, I came here to ask you a question. It might have something to do with your bank being robbed.
Oh? Well, what is it?
Was Al Clovis with you in your office about noon today?
Clovis? Yes, he was for a couple of hours. Why?
He had some money on deposit?
Yeah, that $5,000 cash. Of course, that's gone, too. That's part of the money they took. I'm afraid Clovis is broke now. along with me and a lot of other people.
Well, maybe he isn't as broke as you think.
Oh, he's broke. Unless you can get that money back, Marshal.
Look, I got an idea. I might find it for you, Mr. Barkin. And it won't take very long, either.
Well, I got Clovis all locked up, Mr. Dillon. He won't be taking no more trains for a while.
Good.
What'd you find out from Mr. Botkin?
And I'll tell you and Clovis at the same time, Chester.
Well, he's right in the first cell.
Well, Marshal, come to turn me loose.
Mr. Botkin says your alibi's good, Clovis.
If you'd have believed me in the first place, you'd have saved us all a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Well, let me out. I don't want to spend the night here.
You better get used to it, Clovis. You're going to be spending a lot of nights in here.
What?
At least a month or two of them.
No. You can't keep me here, Marshal. It's illegal.
Is it?
Of course it is.
Well, maybe you know more about the law than I do, Clovis, but I run this jail, and you're going to stay here a long time. And what's more, I'm going to tell the whole town where you are. Come on, Chester.
Marshal, I demand to be released at once. Now come back here. It'll cost you your job if you keep me here.
Shut the door, Chester.
Marshal, you can't do it. Marshal.
You really gonna keep him locked up, Mr. Dillon?
I am.
Well, he ain't done nothing. I mean, if Mr. Botkin said he was with him...
Well, Clovis didn't kill only Becker, if that's what you mean.
Well, then why don't you turn him loose?
Chester, the bank was robbed of $25,000 today.
It was?
Yeah, just after we got on the train. Looks to me like only Becker was murdered just to get me to follow Al Clovis out of town.
Well...
We'll find out in a few minutes. I don't think Clovis can stand the idea of sitting in jail while his partners ride off with all that money.
You mean he was supposed to get out of here and meet them as soon as his alibi was made good, huh?
That's the only way it makes sense to me.
Marshal. Marshal Dillon.
Well, it didn't take as long as I thought. Come on.
Marshal, I got to talk to you.
All right, go ahead.
You really gonna keep me in jail here? You mean that?
That's all you wanted. Don't bother me again.
No, don't go, Marshal.
What do you want, then? It's late, Clovis. I want to get to bed.
Marshal, I'll make you a deal.
About what?
If I help you get back whatever was stolen from the bank today, can I keep my $5,000 out of it?
How did you know the bank was robbed, Clovis?
You're smart, Marshal. I can tell you got this all figured, holding me in jail and all. But I'm smart, too.
Are you?
Smart enough to know you need me as much as I need you. You'll never find those men without me, Marshal. But I can take you to where they are, and I'll identify them for you.
Why?
All I want out of it is my $5,000. Now, that's mine. You can do what you like with the rest.
The court will have to decide about your $5,000, not me.
We think there's a chance I might get it?
Well, I don't know. But you're a gambler, aren't you?
It'll help my showing you where they are, won't it?
Yeah, it'll help.
Okay. I'm supposed to meet them tonight or early tomorrow, Marshal. They won't wait longer than that.
All right, who are they, Clovis?
They're not friends of mine, Marshal. I never saw them before 2 weeks ago in St. Louis. And they're all hiding behind summer names.
How far's away the meeting place?
It's an old cabin, about 20 miles from here.
They there now?
Nobody stopped them here, did they?
No, thanks to you.
But I'm helping you now, Marshal.
If I find your partners, you are. Chester, go get our horses.
We going out there tonight, Mr. Dillon?
Would you rather try it in broad daylight, Chester?
No, sir.
One-way cigarettes, one size, that is, are almost obsolete because they just don't give smokers what they want. Either way, you'll like Chesterfield best. It's America's most popular two-way cigarette, because only Chesterfield gives you the right combination of the world's best tobaccos. Tobaccos that are highest in quality, low in nicotine. Best for you. You and I smoke for relaxation, for comfort, for satisfaction. And in the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like a Chesterfield. You smoke with the greatest possible pleasure when your cigarette is Chesterfield. Yes, these 6 words, highest in quality, low in nicotine, mean Chesterfield is best for you. Get a carton of Chesterfields. Chesterfield Regular, Chesterfield King Size. Both at the same price in most places.
You sure you can find this cabin, Clovis?
I made the ride out here one night just to be sure.
I swear I can't hardly see nothing. I wish that moon wasn't all scudded up with clouds.
Chester, you still don't understand that if you can see them, they can see you.
Chester, I know you're right, Mr. Dillon. It sure looks like rain, though.
We're almost there.
Good.
Marshal,
Yeah.
how are you going to take them? 3 men.
What's the matter, Clovis? You getting scared?
You know what they'll do to me if you don't take them, Marshal.
Like I said, you're a gambler, aren't you?
Hey, look, why don't you give me a gun? I'll help you.
We'll manage.
You can trust me, Marshal. I'm on your side now.
Clovis, I wouldn't trust a man like you if you were in church, praying.
Wait. Somewhere over there. Yeah. There it is. That little clump of elder. The cabin's in there. You see the light?
Yeah. Are you sure that's it?
Of course I am.
Okay, let's get out. Chester, I'm going to go up on foot and have a look. You stay here with Clovis.
Okay, sir.
What if they hear him and come out and shoot him?
Mr. Dillon ain't exactly green at this game, Clovis.
They wouldn't kill me. They'd burn me or something first.
Can't blame 'em much.
I wish I'd stayed in jail. Wished I'd let him keep the money. Something's sure to go wrong here. Unless maybe I outsmart him.
You ain't gonna outsmart nobody, Clovis, so forget about it.
Okay.
I declare I never seen a darker night than this is.
No. Neither did I. Here, get off. Get off.
What's the matter?
It's my horse. He's standing on my foot.
We'll push him off.
I can't. Come on, help me, Chester.
No, for pity's sake.
Come on. Ow.
Move him. That's all you gotta do.
Back.
Here, what are you doing? Clovis?
I got your gun, Chester. Now shut up. Don't move.
But you give me
Shut up,
that
I said.
gun.
That's better. What's that?
Thunder, Clovis. You'll be hearing a different kind when Mr. Dillon gets back here.
He's not coming back here. We're going to him. And if he shoots anybody, it'll be you, because you're going to be right in front of me. Like this. All right. Start walking, Chester. Go on. That's far enough. Stop here. We'll pick up the marshal now and go on to the cabin. Now call him and tell him how you're fixed. Go on and call him.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon? He ain't nowhere around
Yes,
here.
he is. Tell him. Go on.
Clovis got my gun, Mr. Dillon.
Tell him if he doesn't walk over here with his hands up, I'll shoot you.
He's going to take us both to the cabin, Mr. Dillon. He says he'll shoot me.
You heard him, Marshal. I'll kill him sure if you try anything.
He ain't close enough. I tell you, he's probably clear up there at the cabin.
Okay. Okay, start walking, Chester. Just straight ahead. Once I get you inside the cabin, he'll have to give up. Unless he wants you dead.
You hurt, Chester?
No, sir. His gun just went off when you hit him.
All right, get the gun quick. Come on, come on.
I got it, Mr. Dillon.
All right, let's get up to that cabin. They know we're out here now.
Oh, they're getting away, Mr. Dillon. They're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I just don't know what to say.
Then don't say anything. Let's try to find our horses. We'll get Clovis later.
We'll never find them horses in the dark this way.
Rain. Well, that's it. There won't be a track left now. Well, there go 3 killers and $25,000.
Oh, Mr. Dillon, I just feel awful about this.
How'd he get your gun away from you anyway?
Well, see, he said his horse was standing on his foot, so
So you walked up and let him pull your gun right out of the holster, huh?
Yes, sir, that's about the way it happened. Mr. Dillon, you should have let him take me into that cabin. They'd have killed me, but you could have caught them. They wouldn't have got away like they did.
Yeah, I know. I was close enough to hear what Clovis said.
Well, then why'd you save me? Everything would have been okay. if
Oh,
you hadn't-
yeah. Everything would have been okay. Oh, most everything, Chester. Well, let's just don't stand here in the rain talking about it. Come on.
My, what a terrible mess.
Ah, it was my choice, Chester. Not yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Dillon. Mr. Dillon? Would you like a whorehound drop?
Remember, next week at this same time, Chesterfield will bring you another transcribed story of the Western frontier on Gunsmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
This time around, we're listening to 2 episodes that really prove that by the second year, Gunsmoke had hit its stride, particularly in the conversations and camaraderie between Parley Bear and William Conrad, who begins this show with an interesting promo.
There's double-barreled action for you this week. Tonight, Gunsmoke. Saturday night, Gunsmoke again. At the end of tonight's show, I'll give you the details.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by Chesterfield, America's most popular two-way cigarette. What a pair. Chesterfield King Size at the new low price. Chesterfield Regular.
Around Dodge City and into territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. GUNSMOKE, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
I swear, Mr. Dillon, it seems like we've been riding with that cottonwood grove the last 2 hours.
Well, that's because you started thinking about it before you even saw it, Chester.
It's water I've been thinking about. I won't never make it to Dodge without water.
You'll make it.
Not saying I won't.
Wait a minute, Chester. Look over there.
Who are they? What are they doing in there?
Well, the man on the paint horse is Bill Pence, Emmett Bauer's foreman. The other two must be riders of his.
Yeah, but that kid they've got, look, his hands is tied behind his back.
They haven't seen us yet, Chester. Let's ride closer.
What's Pence taking down his rope for? What? Oh, Mr. Dillon, you know what they're doing?
Yeah, only they're not going to do it.
They've seen us now.
Hello, Pence.
What are you doing out here, Marshal?
I'm on my way into Dodge. Does Bowers know what's going on out here?
Marshal, I'm foreman of this outfit. Emmett Bowers don't question how I handle things.
Whose horse is that kid sitting on?
What?
The boy there. Is that his horse?
Well, yeah, it's his horse. Why?
Chester,
Yes, sir.
go untie his hands.
Here, wait a minute.
Go on,
Marshal.
Chester. And if anybody interferes with you, I'll shoot him.
Okay, Mr. Dillon.
You're making trouble, Marshal.
Pence, you know me. You know I won't stand for lynching. And you know I'll kill you if I have to.
Yeah, I think you would. But this still ain't none of your business, Marshal. I caught that boy.
I don't care
trying
what
to
you
run
caught
off.
him trying to do. I'm taking him into Dodge, and if you want to ride in and make your charges against him legally, you'll be there. You can thank your luck I came by here before you got your own neck in the noose. Because I'd have caught you for this, Pence, and I'd have followed you to California for it. Now, you get out of here. All 3 of you. Oh, morning, Chester.
Morning, Mr. Dillon.
How's the boy this morning?
Fine. Except he's wondering when you're going to turn him loose.
Well, I saw Emmett Bowers and Bill Pence riding up the street when I came in. Maybe we'll learn the truth about all this now.
The boy swears he ain't lying.
Yeah, maybe he isn't. No, here they come.
Marshal Dillon. Chester.
Morning, Mr. Bowers.
Hello, Bowers. Pence.
I told Mr. Bowers the whole story, Marshal.
Did you?
You did, Marshal. What you called a lynching wasn't going to be no lynching at all.
No?
No. It was just a hanging. Pence and them 2 riders of mine caught that fella trying to run off a bunch of my cattle. That's cattle thieving, Marshal, and where I come from, that's a hanging offense.
The law, Bowers. The law decides who hangs and who doesn't.
The law's too slow. Now, cow thieves has got to be hung when you catch
I
them.
told you yesterday, Pence, you lynch anybody out there and I'll come after you. I don't care what you call it. No, I'm not going to argue about this, gentlemen.
We'll worry about that later. Right now, I want to know what you're going to do with that thief.
Well, I haven't decided yet, Bowers. But I'll tell you what he told me.
I ain't interested in what he told you.
Listen anyway. He said he didn't steal any cows, and what's more, he wasn't going to.
Well, that's a lie, Marshal. Me and the men watched him cut 15 head out.
And then did he leave him and start to ride away, or didn't he?
Oh, well, sure, he started to ride away. He either seen this or he was coming back and drive him off at night, one or the other.
He says he changed his mind. He realized he couldn't do it even though he started to.
You believe a thieving kid rather than a man like Bill Pence, Marshal?
I don't know who I believe yet, Bowers.
Let's get out of here, Pence.
Yes, sir.
Marshal Dillon, I'll be mighty interested in what you decide to do about this. So will every other cattleman I know of.
I want to talk to that boy, Chester.
He's right back there waiting.
Oh, Marshal.
Unlock the cell, Chester.
Yes, sir.
You said your name's Steve Elser. Is that true?
I got no reason to lie about my name, Marshal.
Where are you from?
San Juan Mountains, Marshal, over in Colorado.
What are you doing in Kansas?
I'm 18. I figured it was time to leave home.
Why?
I'd have killed my pa, or he'd have killed me if I'd stayed.
Yeah.
He ain't let me sleep in the house since I was 10, Marshal. Sometimes he don't even let my ma sleep in the house.
Why not?
Oh, nothing my pa does makes much sense. I think he got his brains knocked loose about 10 years back. Time a grizzly bear slapped him in the head. It most likely killed him, and I wished it had.
I see. Tell me about those cattle of Emmett Bowers, Elser. You admit you started to steal them.
Oh, shucks, I'd have never done it, Marshal, not really. I was just kind of seeing how easy it'd be.
Well, you found out. Pence and his riders were watching you the whole time.
I know, they told me.
Well, there's one thing about you. At least you don't carry a gun.
Maybe I'd better.
No. Look, Elser, I believe you. And I'm going to turn you loose. But on one condition.
What's that?
That you get a job. Work at it. Prove you're honest. And I'm going to give you a week to find one.
Oh, Marshal, I've been working all my life. I'm tired.
I'll give you a week, Elser. And if you don't have a job by then, you're going to have to leave the country.
Who do you like in the World Series? New York Giants? Cleveland Indians? Well, I guess that question is on everybody's mind right about now. Of course, the series starts Wednesday at New York's famous Polo Grounds. Then the action moves to Cleveland's great municipal stadium. You fans who have been to these great ballparks know they have one thing in common. The giant Chesterfield scoreboard signs, which instantly flash the official scorer's decision. It's a hit. Yes, sir, as the big signs say, Chesterfield's a hit with baseball fans everywhere, with millions of smokers around the country. It's America's most popular two-way cigarette. Whether you enjoy the World Series at the ballpark, on TV or radio, there's one thing for sure. You'll enjoy it much more with Chesterfield. In the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like a Chesterfield. Buy Chesterfield King Size or Chesterfield Regular, both at the same price in most places. Get a carton today.
Evening, Matt.
Oh, sit down, Doc.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Oh, my. The street looks pretty quiet tonight.
Oh, it's early yet, Doc.
Oh, say, Chester was telling me about that boy, Elser.
Yeah. I hope I was right turning him loose this morning.
Well, Matt, it sounds to me like he's one of those fellows that's just about to go bad. A push one way or the other can make the whole difference.
Well, I guess it's worth a chance, Doc.
Most all of us have had a little help somewhere along the way. Otherwise, there'd be nothing but thieves and crooks walking around. I bet you did, Matt. Oh, you wouldn't be trying to help this boy.
maybe.
Well, anyway, he didn't steal those cows.
No, but he came a lot closer to it than a man should, Doc.
Mr. Dillon? Oh, hello, Doc.
Good evening, Chester.
You better step into the Oliver Gandon, Mr. Dillon. Pence is in there about to have a fight with young Elser.
What?
Not a gunfight. Elser ain't armed, but he's making Pence awful mad.
I will see you later, Doc.
So long, Matt.
What's Elser up to, Chester?
Well, sir, he's been bragging to Pence about his not getting to hang him, about not being in jail and all. It ain't improving Pence's temper none.
Oh, hello, Marshal.
Hello, John. Is Elser drunk?
He's been drinking, but he ain't drunk.
Well, he won't find a job hanging around saloons.
No, sir. Over there at the bar, Mr. Dillon.
Now, you just shut up and get yourself out of here, little thief.
I ain't a thief. I ain't a murderer either, Pence.
Oh, I told you for the last time, Elser. Get up here once more.
All right, that's enough, Pence. Don't kick him.
Well, then throw him in jail where he belongs, Marshal. I just ain't gonna listen to his talk.
You don't have to. I'll handle him.
You'll handle him. You sure done fine so far.
Hit me. I'll kill you for this, Pence.
Shut up, Elser. Now get up on your feet.
I didn't hurt you, but I sure will next time. And there won't be no marshal around to nurse you, Elser.
I didn't come to Dodge to get kicked around. Not no more. Not never.
You ain't even got half of what's coming to you, kid.
Leave him alone, Pence. Now, you, Elser, I told you to go find a job, you remember?
A job? It's a gun I'm going to find me. He wouldn't have hit me if I'd been carrying a gun.
You start wearing a gun and I'll throw it in the Arkansas and you went after it. Come over here a minute. I'm giving you a chance to make good, Elser, but it's not going to last forever. Now you get out of here and start doing something about it. The next day, I had to go up to Fort Larned on government business. But before I left, I talked to a couple of ranchers who were in town about hiring on Steve Elser. However, they'd heard about him and said I was making a big mistake trying to help a boy that was headed for the end of a rope. Well, I argued with them, but it was no use. And I decided I'd try to find him a job in town to start with. I was gone 2 days, and the night I got back, I went over to the Texas Trail looking for Chester. He wasn't there, but Kitty was.
I saw Chester about an hour ago, Matt. He didn't expect you back till tomorrow.
It didn't take as much time as I thought, Kitty. Tell me about things here, huh?
Well, nobody's been shot or hung I know of. There's one thing I don't like, though.
Oh, what's that, Kitty?
You know Ben Hander?
For one reason or another, I've thrown Ben Hander in jail at least 10 times.
Well, he and Steve Elser have been running together the last couple of days.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's mighty poor company for Elser.
I think you're wasting your time trying to help that kid, Matt. As much as I admire your reason.
He isn't wearing a gun, is he?
Not so far.
I don't like this, Kitty. Could be that all Ben Hander needs to get into real trouble's a partner. Somebody just like Elser who'll kind of look up to him, egg him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping the boy'd done something about finding a job.
Maybe you've been too easy on him, Matt.
I've done what I thought was right, Kitty.
I know.
Has, Bill Pence been around, or Bowers?
No, but I heard Bowers has spread it all over the country how the law turned a cow thief loose.
Oh, sure, I expected that.
Well, you can't blame people for wondering about it.
No, but I can sure blame Bowers for backing up Pence on a lynching. If he's going to talk about the law, why doesn't he start with that?
Matt.
What?
Look around. Headed for the bar.
Yeah. I'm going to have a talk with him, Kitty. I'll see you later.
Sure.
Hello, Elser.
Oh, Marshal. Heard you was out of town.
I got back tonight.
You gonna buy us a drink, Marshal?
Not likely, Hander.
That ain't very friendly.
You found a job yet, Elser?
No. No, I ain't.
You been looking?
Oh, some.
Where?
Here and there.
Where?
Oh, it's no use, Marshal. First man I asked said nobody'd hire me. Anyway, there's no law man's got to have a job.
You gotta have one.
Lay off him, Marshal. He ain't done nothing.
Of course I ain't. Why is everybody always kicking me around?
Oh, you think that's what I'm doing?
Everybody is. Makes me ashamed. Nobody'll trust me.
Elser, I'll help you find a job tomorrow. Around Dodge somewhere.
But I told you nobody...
People will trust you as soon as you prove to them that they can.
No, they won't. Besides, I don't want no job. I just don't want one.
There's no other way, Elser. You find a job by tomorrow night or get out.
No, you can't do that. You give him a week before...
I changed my mind, Hander, since he's met you.
What's that got to do with it?
You're no good. And sooner or later he'll be in trouble. So he's got to move faster now.
You got no right to talk that way about me, Marshal.
Why not? Well, why not?
Oh, leave him be, Marshal. Leave me be, too. I'll make out all right. Always do.
Oh, you made out fine in that cottonwood grove, Elser. So far, you're not doing much better here. Now, you come see me tomorrow night and you have a job. And if you think I don't mean what I say, you ask Hander here. He knows me. Maybe Kitty was right about my being too easy on young Elser. But as I found out next day, being hard on him didn't work any better. I just had breakfast at a little Mexican place at the edge of town, and I was walking back into the plaza when I noticed a small crowd in front of the Overland Express Company. I started across to find out what was going on when Chester spotted me and came running over.
He shot him, Mr. Dillon. He shot the clerk in there.
Who shot him?
Ben Hander. He tried to hold the place up about 10 minutes ago.
Where is he? Did he get away?
Well, they say some men chased him down to the OK stable, and they've got him trapped in there.
All right, come on.
I talked to the clerk. Doc's with him now. It was Ben Hander alone, Mr. Dillon. Elser wasn't with him.
Huh. He got any money?
No, sir. Some men heard shooting, come running across the plaza right away, and Hander got scared and left.
I wonder where the boy is.
Nobody ain't seen him I talked to.
How bad's the clerk, Chester?
Oh, he took one bullet in the shoulder. It's going to hurt some, but it won't kill him. Look, there they are, Mr. Dillon. 4 or 5 of them, looks like, spread out around the stable area. I guess they must be waiting for you.
Good.
Hey, that one right there, ain't that Bill Pence?
Yeah, it is. Pence? Hey, Bill Pence.
Yeah. Well, we got him, Marshal. He's in that stable there. No way for him to leave without getting shot.
Okay. I want you and the other men to stay where you are, Pence. I'll go on after him.
Well, he's armed, Marshal.
Sure.
We could set fire to the place.
Out with horses in there?
Oh, I forgot about them.
Chester,
Yes, sir.
wait here till I yell for you, huh?
Well, Mr. Dillon, if it's okay, I'd like to come up to the door with you.
All right, sure. If he gets past us, Pence, shoot him.
We sure will, Marshal.
That door swings out, Chester. Now that you're here, you can pull it open, but stay behind it. I'll go in alone.
Okay, sir.
Hander? Hander! It's Marshal Dillon.
You stay where you are, Marshal.
You can't get away, Hander. There are 5 men waiting out here for you. Now, don't be a fool. That clerk you shot isn't hurt bad. If you try to run now, you'll die for it.
I didn't kill him?
No. I'm coming in, Hander. won't do you any good to shoot me, Hunter, so you might as well give up. Now, you take your choice. You go to prison for a few years or die this morning.
Don't shoot, Marshal. I'm quitting.
All right, then walk up here with your hands in the air.
I'm coming. Here you go, kid.
What's that? Who you talking to?
It's me, Marshal. Elsie.
What? Then you come out with your hands up, too, Elsie.
We're coming.
Chester.
Yes, sir?
Come on in here. All right, that's far enough, you two. Stand right there.
Elser, so you was in on this?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't anywhere near that express office.
He's wearing a gun.
I got a right to wear a gun just like any other man.
He had nothing to do with that robbery, Marshal. Clerk and those men that followed me here can tell you that.
He was waiting here with your horses.
You can't prove that, Marshal.
Why are you standing up for him, Hunter?
He's a good boy. People let him alone.
I ain't done a thing.
Chester, take Hunter's gun.
Yes, sir. I got it, Mr. Dillon. What about Elser?
No, leave him alone. Step over here, Hunter. Elser,
What, Marshal?
I still think you were waiting here to get away with Hunter. But he's right about it being hard to prove.
I ain't done a thing, Marshal.
No, but you would have. Anyway, I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm taking Hunter to jail now, and while I'm doing it, I want you to get out of Dodge. For good. And don't come back.
Kicking me around again, ain't you?
I've done all I can for you, Elsa. There's nothing more I can do. You're on your own now. All right, Hunter, you know where the jail is. Start walking.
Sure, Marshal. So long, kid.
Let's go, Hunter.
Mr. Dillon! He was drawing on you, Mr. Dillon. He was going to shoot you in the back.
Is he dead?
He died before he hit the ground, Hunter. I could see it from where I was standing.
Thanks for warning me, Chester.
I was just starting to follow you, and I seen him move out of the corner of my eye.
I had a feeling he might try it.
You did?
That's why I was half ready for it. Anyway, it's the first time I've been right about him. I sure guessed wrong up till now.
But it was worth it, Mr. Dillon. Trying to help him, I mean.
No, not him, Chester. It was already too late to help him. I should have known that.
And now our star, William Conrad.
Thank you, George Fenneman. As of this Saturday night, October 2nd, Gunsmoke goes back to its original time, where you discovered it and liked it. That's 8 p.m. in most cities, this Saturday and every Saturday.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Two episodes from 1954 when Gunsmoke was really cooking. And that's it for this time around. I'm Dennis Daly. Thanks for joining me on Gunsmoke Theater as we go back into the archives to play more of the episodes of the radio show that changed everything for the better. Gunsmoke, right here on YouTube.